Happy Tuesday, everybody. Today, I have a very interesting story for you. We are in front of a house that I listed. We sold it right away. We went into contract, and we were supposed to close on June 5th. That's about 3 months ago. What happened? Why didn't we close? Well, I'm going to tell you the glamorous part of my job. So everyone thinks it's so glamorous to be a realtor. We show houses, we get to go to closings, we meet other realtors at networking events, and then we have to deal with the issues that come up when you go into contract. By the way, New Jersey contracts, there's a reason why they have a little clause before the closing date that says on or about, because that usually is what happens in New Jersey. It's on or about. So June 5th, we were supposed to close. The buyers did their home inspection as they normally do. The septic failed. No, not every septic in Ringwood fails when you have a real estate transaction. However, this is the original one from 1970. It's actually lived 2 lifetimes. They're supposed to last 25 to 30 years. And in this particular case, it did fail. The seller, not wanting to recognize that it actually was a failure, wanted to have it retested. So by the time we went back and forth, 3 weeks later, we had it retested, and lo and behold, his inspector failed it as well. So now we start the septic process. What is the septic process? The first thing is to call an engineer, have markouts done, do a test hole. The engineer takes about 2 weeks to do the engineering itself, and you'll see there's orange lines, and you've got the blue flags over there. Those are the markouts. It takes about a week to get those markouts done. Now, once the engineering is done, then you can actually hire contractors to look at your plans and get the lowest price, because they're all the same. I always say there's no difference between a Chevy or a Mercedes. They're all Fords. They all have to follow the same plans. And then we have to wait for the town to approve it. All of that takes about 6 weeks. If you listen to your agent, and if you take our guidelines and our approved list of vendors, I have a list of engineers, a list of contractors. However, my seller decided to go out on his own. So he hired an engineer who's not very communicative with anyone, who then went on vacation, by the way, and we had to wait for him to come back from vacation. Then we had to push the town to approve it, and then he hired a contractor. Contractor is fine, except every contractor on my list knows that in a real estate transaction, they get paid for their services at the closing, because nobody has $20,000 to $30,000 in their back pocket. At least most people don't. So it comes out of the equity of the house. Well, the sellers didn't understand that, didn't take advice, and the contractor didn't have the money to front the materials. So now we have another delay. We are now in September 10th. We have to close by the 17th, and we found a solution. But let me show you the not glamorous part of my job. So as you can see, here's the backhoe. This is where the septic is going to go. But the lesson really is when you're dealing with a professional, whether it's a contractor that's remodeling your kitchen, whether it's your doctor who's giving you a diagnosis and a prescription, please listen to your realtor. We do this every day of the week. We have a team of proven vendors who work with us, who know what they're doing to get it done right. And don't, not to be ironic, but do the pitfall of trying to do it yourself, especially when you're an original owner, have never done this before, and needed a little bit more hand-holding than most of my sellers. So please, even if you're not selling with me, by all means, always feel free to call me for advice. I have an approved list of vendors. I could always give you, guidance in whatever you do. Another thing I want to mention today as an aside is that today at Luigi's is Dine to Donate. So 10% of everything you order and eat at Luigi's Pizzeria in town will be donated to the Center for Food Action. And remember, the people in Ringwood who don't have food on their table don't like to eat just on Thanksgiving and Christmas. They kind of got used to eating 365 days a week. So go to Luigi's today, have lunch or dinner, and 10% will go to Dine for Donate. Thanks.